Okay, everyone, we have to talk about Supergirl. I've been thinking about it for a few days now. I saw it right at release day. I feel like I'm going insane. So, based on what I'm seeing online, there's just so much negativity. And I don't mean that the film has a bad review. That's fine. If someone has seen it and they don't like it, that's fine. They can, talk about it and criticize it. I'm a huge critic. I'm a huge hater. I'm one of the biggest haters out there. But what I've been seeing these past few days has been utterly ridiculous. So I should just start by saying I did like the movie. I thought it was really good. Was it a masterpiece? No. Was it better than any of the Thor movies? Yes. It's better than whatever you think the best Thor movie is. It's better than that. So a lot of people are accurate where this feels like a phase 1 or 2 Marvel movie. It still feels fresh, though. It doesn't feel like it's from that era. You're not going to roll your eyes at things you've already seen before, for the most part. The movie's pretty fresh. Uh, Crypto's in it, and he's great, but it's not gimmicky. Of course, he's there partially to, get people in the seats and whatnot, but he's in it an appropriate amount, and it doesn't feel like they're pressuring you to buy toys or anything like that. Millie Alcock was pretty good as Supergirl. I really have no complaints. There's a few different ways they could have took the character, and this is the one they decided on, and I think it's solid. Like, yeah, equally they could have gone a few different routes, but this one makes sense for what they're trying to do with the DCU. I love her relationship with Clark, her relationship with Ruthie or whatever the little girl's name is great, and even the child actress that played her was pretty good. I always have problems with child actors. No complaints here. Lobo was amazing. He was very fun. I could smell his cigar just by his appearance. He definitely looked like he smelled like someone who's been smoking for decades and decades and decades. Were there a few maybe awkward moments? Yeah, maybe like 3, but they weren't that bad. They were very easy to get over. One of which is this, what everyone is calling this horrible needle drop during one of the last fight scenes. I think it's fine. The actual scene itself is very cool. Just seeing Supergirl protect this little girl that she's gotten to know, and it really shows how this girl is looking to her as this kind of mythic hero. Like the Woman of Tomorrow comic portrays it. So yeah, I would recommend to go see it. If you're a DC fan, stop staying at home when these movies come out. Look, this isn't a Flash, okay? This isn't a Batman versus Superman. This is decent. I like a lot of BVS, but you get my point. Okay, another thing I want to address. Everyone online seems to be treating this as a culture war issue type of movie. This movie is not chastising anyone for their political belief. There's no hints of polarization. In fact, they go out of their way to avoid controversy so much. I think it actually presents a problem, but maybe I'll talk about that in another video. So, politically, it's very inoffensive. Yes, the star of the movie is a woman, the main character is a woman, but this is not like a girl power movie. That's not how they advertised it. So, those particular people that have a problem with that, I don't know what you're concerned about. I remember during the release of Captain Marvel, they were leaning into that pretty heavily. That may have helped that movie cross $1 billion or whatever it made. But this movie was not that. This was made for us comic book fans, DC fans, nerds. Why aren't people going to see this? So obviously, there's a lot of people recently that have wanted a lot of these big studio movies to fail. I can't really tell what the psychology behind it is, especially for something so politically inoffensive as, the DCU, especially, just this Supergirl movie in particular. I think maybe some of it is like they want these movies to fail months, years beforehand, and they keep talking about the release of this movie and how it's going to be bad. And then when it flunks, it flops or whatever, they kind of feel like they contributed to it and they feel good. Regardless, the thing about all these movie reviews, another thing I should say, is that there's all this talk about the studio and about what the movie is going to make and how it's such a flop. This, is there an audience for that? Is there a niche group of people that should be interested in that? Sure. If you are someone who works in these companies in the industry or owns stock, okay. But every single review I've seen on YouTube and on TikTok, honestly, it makes me want to delete TikTok. Let's just say there are actual consequences of this Western IQ decline, and I feel like anyone that has TikTok, their brains are going to rot. It doesn't matter to what extent you try to curate your feed to be something intellectual or more long form. That app is always going to incentivize the stupidest takes, the most aesthetically appealing takes, even if there's no substance there. Anyway, all these reviews are talking about the budget, the numbers. Oh, this isn't going to make as much as they spent. Like, I'm so sick of seeing this. And I used to be a big fan of a lot of these YouTube channels that would constantly bring these things up. But it doesn't matter. If you're interested in art, if you're a nerd, if you're a comic book geek, that shouldn't matter to you. Like, you should feel so lucky that they're making a film based on a particular franchise or IP you like. And it's okay if you don't like it. I'm not saying you have to like it, but there's really little appreciation. And as someone who likes comics, who likes superhero movies, good ones, it's sad to see people who call themselves comic fans, uh, superhero fans, to tell their audience not to see like literally every movie that comes out. So yeah, today I got pretty pessimistic. I've just been thinking of Supergirl a lot. Not just all this context. I've been thinking about the DCU a lot. I've been excited about it, but the more I see reviews, I get so bummed. So let me know if any of you guys have related to this. If you're a man, woman, young, old, it's a solid movie. It's pretty good. It's 3.5 stars, maybe like 4.2. It's not a Dark Knight, and that's fine. It's not a masterpiece, but it's also not a Flash. It's not most MCU movies. It's not like any of the DCEU. It doesn't matter what your demographic is. If you like comics, go see Supergirl.